Hey guys, Huzzy bringing you another video. Now welcome to another Q&A. So haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, therefore we're doing one. I just enjoy doing them. I do apologize. I don't know. I just like talking to you guys about just stuff. And it's kind of rapid fire a lot of the time with education when people are asking league stuff, which is nice. But yeah, and I like having a good relationship with my audience. Like I am somebody that replies to comments and stuff, which I know with, mentally taxing as comment sections are, I still look at the comments. I know most of my friends and YouTubers don't look at comments anymore. I still do for now. But yeah, we're going to do a Q&A. Worth also mentioning, just to announce, well, I'm recording this before the TFT tournament, so hopefully I did well. And I'm also well, I don't know when I'm uploading this video, but on Wednesday, I'm probably going to upload this video on Wednesday night. So by the time this video comes out, I'll have my new car, baby. Hell yeah! What I'll do, I'll delay the editing of this video, I'll put a picture up on the screen now. Again, that's not a showy off thing. I'm just a massive car person. I think people know that by now. I'm massive into F1. I watch every race religiously. I'm even a guy that watches the practice sessions, for God's sake. So I love F1. I love cars. Mercedes is my favorite F1 team, so I was like, I'm going to go for an upgrade. If you want to have information about the car, if you want to watch a video about the car, I'm going to say maybe in roughly 3, 4, 5 days, there will be a video on my second channel about the car. I don't want to put it on the main channel because some people get the wrong idea. I love cars. I want to share that with you guys. And the car vlogs are also going to be making a comeback. So it's just a lot easier if I make a video about the car explaining it instead of having every video, what car are you in? Just make a video about it and you can always link to that video if people ask. Anyway, let's get into the... Oh, also another thing to say. So many stuff. We're doing a subathon on Twitch in a couple weeks. It's most likely going to be on December the 7th or 8th. It's going to be kind of my Christmas subathon, and we're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways. I'm going to try and get SteelSeries involved. Riot, I'm going to try and get some stuff from Riot. And also, we're going to be giving away a Nintendo Switch Lite with one of the Pokemon versions in that stream. The reason for it is I have had a blast playing the new Pokemon game. You guys give a lot to me. You enable me to do this for a job, and I wanted to give back. So we are going to be giving away a Nintendo Switch to give someone the chance to have a great time playing the Pokemon game. Obviously, I very much would want the winner to use the Nintendo Switch and play the game. I can't police that amazingly well because I can't stop someone selling it after. I just hope that whoever wins it will use it to play, or if they're a parent, they can gift it to their kid. That's what I'm hoping, and we're going to be giving away that during the subathon. More details of how you enter that will be coming in the next week or so. Anyway, let's get into the questions. Right, so first one is how to effectively 1v9. It's harder to do nowadays, so a lot of people may ask, why is season 3 so nostalgically remembered from the masses of people that used to play it back then? Season 3 was the time of League where you as an individual made the most impact. So if you were that Riven main in top lane, you could carry the game by yourself. If you were that Draven in bot lane that got fed, you could carry the game by yourself. Snowballing was massive in Season 3, and you could just continue your lead, extend your lead, and the game would be over in a pretty quick time. So a lot of people remembered that going, I was a good player, I could carry, when nowadays it's not that true, let's be honest. So Season 3 was remembered for that, but nowadays they've made the game way more team-orientated. Objectives are way more important, which usually needs team involvement. So how can you, in effect, climb by yourself? How do you carry by yourself? I would say the best role for it is easily jungle, because jungle can affect all the lanes. So if you're very good, in theory, you're getting your lanes fed, or you're taking all the objectives. And also a carry-type jungler. Something aggressive, usually in the early game, especially now with the jungle XP. If you get ahead of the enemy jungler, they can't catch up. Like, they just can't. The XP is just very harsh to that way in jungling. So I'd say jungling is probably your best bet. Or, yeah, top lane, I'd say it's obviously in a very rough spot. But if you as an individual get insanely fed as a top laner, again, you'll probably be quite hard to stop. All right, next up. Again, I got them on my phone today. If you got to design a synergy for TFT, what would it be and what would the line do? Great question. I actually had the idea before they did it. I'm sure obviously they had the idea first. But back on set 1, I was like, dude, where's the Shurima set? And I was like, you could have the Renekton, you could have Nasus, you could have Azir, you could have a Severe. Rammus, Skarner with his sand skin, Zereth with his sand skin. They did it. Obviously, it's desert. They didn't do it the way that I thought. Also, another thing, so there was that, which I was like, that's cool. So what would that's kind of been added to TFT. What would I add if that isn't in the game? I'd add Divine or God. So like a different synergy called Divine or God, same thing. So all the kind of godlike characters can get some type of buff. In Dota 2 Auto Chess, from memory, it was a buff for an individual, or it was a buff when you had like 3 gods or something, 2 or 3 gods. So it just made your individual god strong, or when you got like a team of gods, it made them really strong. Kind of like an Imperial, but for gods. So I was like, well, you've got quite a lot of divine stuff. Aurelian, Bard, obviously Renekton, Nasus, Zereth, technically Azir, I guess, or is he just a king? There's a bunch of like divine-ish stuff in League of Legends, and yeah, I think you could do something really cool with that and make them more sparkly and shiny when they get all the buff. So I think that would be really cool. Sorry, by the way, got my iced coffee. I'm right now in preparation mode for the tournament, so coffee down the hatch, That's the way that it goes, baby. Right, next one is thoughts on AP Malphite. There's no point playing it above gold, really. Next one is, how are you feeling that you... How are you feeling now that you noticeably lost weight and that... What does that mean? Gird. Oh, gird, my thing that I have. Gird doesn't affect me before. All right, so... Gird, I legit forgot what it was called. You actually just reminded me. So, people may know if you've watched the channel for a while, and if you haven't, welcome. We are still growing the YouTube channel every single day, by the way. About 2,000 subscribers a month, which is pretty cool. So welcome if you're new. I have a thing called gird. I still have it, but it's just kind of under control. Gird is a... What's the way to say it? It's like a reflux thing. It's not because of like anything else. I think being overweight does hurt it. But I had it when I was in shape back in 6th form college. So it's not because I was overweight I got it. It was just a weakness. My dad's has a very weak throat. He's had surgery on it and stuff. So I think it's just hereditary. But basically for about a 6-year period, I threw up every single morning. And I'm memeing, I'm not joking, dead serious. I threw up every single morning for about 6 years. It was an overproduction of acid. It was the main cause, and that caused all other problems. I, about 8 months ago by now, went to go get a camera down my throat. It was very interesting. I was actually told I was very calm. I didn't get any type of whatever. I didn't go under. They just sprayed my throat a little bit, so it wasn't like... I'm not used to something going down my throat is what I'll say. And I watched on the screen, the camera. Like, I was watching my insides, and they were teaching me stuff about my own insides. It was a very weird experience, but it was very interesting. And because of all the years and years and years that we've had, obviously, acid being thrown up every morning, my stomach has obviously been quite damaged. In some areas, there's been some abscesses, I think. I don't know. Like, there's something in there. I've now been on a medication for 8 months, which is a amino acid suppressant, something like that. So I don't produce much acid anymore. So therefore, there's not an overproduction to throw up every single morning. And it also heals the stomach. So I actually am... You've actually reminded me, need to ring the doctors today. I need to book my review. I have to go in early December, which is not that far away, to talk about it. Because I obviously have been on this medication religiously for 8 months. But every now and then... I don't know how other countries do it, but in Britain you have a prescription, you have to go to a pharmacy, obviously you get your prescription. I sometimes have been a derp and then didn't realise when I run out and, it's a weekend, oh, the pharmacy's closed. I have sometimes been without my medication for a few days. The last time it happened, which was only a couple of weeks ago, was the longest time I was without it, which is like 4 days, and I didn't throw up once. Nearing the 4th day, I was feeling a little bit like, ooh, in the morning, but I didn't throw up. So that was very important to me personally. That I was like, okay, it is definitely helping because, if before when it happened, like right at the beginning, the first couple months when I was off the medication, instantly back throwing up the next day. But it is obviously improving. So yeah, that's amazing. And then the weight loss, I'm very happy about it. I have been told that this camera angle doesn't do it a lot justice, which I'm not doing it for you guys. If that's a bonus and you guys like are happy about it, that's awesome. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me, for a couple reasons. And I will say, when I do say it's not for you guys, I will say though, I am absolutely in awe of people sending me messages that are saying they have got into doing exercise or dieting because of what I'm doing. You guys can do it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And I know some people right now, you'll be sitting there, maybe you are a bit overweight and stuff, and you're a bit like, oh, screw that. I was you. I always hated when people talked about it, a year or two ago. I hated it. Like, it annoyed me when people were talking about weight loss or getting in shape, because it was like, oh, stop talking about it. But I will say, I do very much recommend it. It's not a cliche. I feel better. You just more energy. I'm not yawning at 4 p.m. Everything is nicer. I fit into clothes like this shirt, and I now wear my shirts tucked in when I'm dressing kind of smarter, which I am today apparently. I'm tucked in shirts with belts. I never used to be able to do that. There would have been a big overhang. I now don't really have a stomach anymore. I've gone down 3-4 trouser sizes, so whenever I go into a store, I'm not kind of thinking, do they have my size? I am now average male size in trousers, and I am still wanting to lose more, so I very much recommend it. It's fantastic. And next year, for those that are wondering, I do have a bit more to lose. I weigh 180 pounds, by the way, now, if you don't know. I started at the September 12th, I was 214 pounds, and I'm now 180 on the dot, pretty much. I don't really have a number that I care about. I could stay 180 pounds. I couldn't care less. It's fitness. So 2020 is going to be all about fitness to actually get in shape, properly in shape. So I've kind of got the bug again. And with the new car arriving, I'm going to be going to the gym 3 times a week. So yeah, like things are, pretty good. So I would recommend it. And for those that say, how am I doing it? I am going to most likely be making a video about it on the second channel, or at least one of the car vlogs. I'll talk about it because, as I said, the car vlogs are coming back. I'll talk about it in the car vlog of how I'm doing it. Would I recommend the way that I'm doing it? Yes and no. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to say 100%. Some people will say what I'm doing isn't good, but you can't argue with the results in a way. Next up is thoughts on the Alcoves. I've given my opinion on them before. I think they're good. I know there are some people going, they're pointless. I said it in a recent commentary. The game has had 10 years without these Alcoves. The player base has had 10 years without these Alcoves. It's not going to be instant that the players get used to the Alcoves. That half the time people are going to not even remember they're there. So give it time for them to come into play. Maybe pro play will obviously get there first because they adapt quicker. But also, Riot has already said they're not going to be used every game. They're not supposed to be. As I mentioned, they take nothing away from gameplay. They can only add to gameplay. So they're in no way a negative in any shape. Anyway, they're never a negative. They're only going to be a neutral or a positive, which is good. Next up is favorite Netflix series / movies. Just Netflix stuff. What the hell's on Netflix? I do watch Netflix. Again, it's hard to remember what's on Netflix. I'm going on Netflix right now. I'm very professional. Oh, that was a really good series. What was it called? Oh, well, Castlevania, I'd say, is the best thing on Netflix. The animated Castlevania series. If you've not watched that, even if you don't care about the video game Castlevania, I've never played a Castlevania game. You don't have to. It's a story about Dracula, basically, his son, vampire hunter family called the Belmonts. Watch that series. Do yourself a favor and watch that series. There's only like 8 episodes. There's 2 seasons already, and I think there's 4 episodes per season or something. You'll binge watch it. Like, so one person, I guarantee, watching this video will start watching that today from my recommendation, and they'll watch it the whole way through. I guarantee. Other thing that's really good, I think, Kengan Ashura. Again, another animated kind of anime type thing. It is in Japanese. It's about underground fighting. It takes you a little while to get used to the animation style, but when you do, it's actually very good. I like the story quite a bit. There's a lot that I'm interested in or what's going to happen. So that's really good. What else is good? Again, it's just hard to remember what like Netflix themselves has done and what like, is not Netflix, because like Rick and Morty's on Netflix, but it's not a Netflix show. So I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff. Feel free in the comments to recommend stuff from people. I did hear, I haven't watched it because I can't deal with those people, but I did hear the Flat Earth documentary was hilariously funny on Netflix, that at the end of the documentary, they do a massive experiment and prove that the Earth is round, and then they just end it kind of being confused. I've heard that was good. I watched that part to it, and yeah, them flat earthers, though, they've never been in a plane. Right, so that's that one. Next up is, will I be playing Darius this season? I don't know. I get the top lane. I love Darius. He's one of my favourite champions to play, but I don't know if I'm going to be playing much top. Like, I'm really liking jungle again. Like, I really am. And mid lane is just more, involved. So I'm not sure if I had to give my honest answer. I'm sure I will, because I just every now and then I'm in the mood to play something. I'm in the mood to play Darius. Okay, let's play a Darius game. I'll always do that. You guys know me. But yeah, maybe. Someone saying is, what would you recommend to new streamers, YouTubers? Is it better to start out YouTube videos or then streaming once you have an audience? I wouldn't worry too much about it without being whatever's in the nicest way possible. Have fun is priority number one. Have fun and don't sacrifice stuff in the early stages for your life. What I mean by that is, if you have a job, don't make your real job get hurt by streaming a lot and you're really tired for when you turn up at your job. Prioritize what you've got now, and if what your little hobby of doing YouTube and streaming turns into something amazing, it's what every YouTuber should give advice to. I was watching, what's his name? Thingy-majig. I'll find his video now. Oh, Pay Money Wubby. He had a big thing with Twitch recently, and he was basically saying, like, oh, Twitch is banning people, and then they're wrong bans. But what happens if you're living paycheck to paycheck on Twitch? Don't do that. If you're living paycheck to paycheck as a content creator, I think that's a really risky thing to do in life, because we have no guarantee at all of how much we're making. YouTube has this COPA thing happening next year. YouTube ads, you could get demonetized, you could get banned. We have no control over that stuff at all. So if you're going paycheck to paycheck as a content creator, that's not good. So when he was saying, like, oh, people are doing that, I'm like, oh god, don't do that. So when you're starting out, have fun is priority number one. If you're not having fun, there's no point doing it. If it does turn into something and it starts to build momentum, don't quit your job straight away. Trust me. So like people like Nadeshot, I think we all know Nadeshot is the CEO/owner something of 100 Thieves. He has said and been quoted, he obviously was a competitive Call of Duty player for FaZe, I think. Obviously got millions of YouTube views, made a lot of money doing that. While he was beginning, and even when he was competing, his YouTube channel was doing well, he was still working in McDonald's. He didn't quit McDonald's straight away. He kept doing it because that was guaranteed income. And I know, obviously, money is a touchy subject to talk about sometimes as a YouTuber, but you're an adult, right? When you're an adult, that's an adult thing. Just be responsible about it. But as I said, the actual advice is just have fun. Whether you start YouTube or Twitch first, it depends which one depends which type of content you're going for, depends what you're doing. I started YouTube first, and then I've said people have, I know some people unsubscribed and stopped watching when I started making my content on Twitch, because it did change a little bit, but I was getting depressed. Being in my bedroom for hours upon hours a day, recording with no interaction with anybody, I was getting depressed, so I started streaming to have at least some interaction when recording. That helped me a bunch, so maybe that would be something for you. But remember, the later you leave becoming a content creator, the less chance you have of making it. More people start every single day. That means more competition. Your idea that you think could be this amazing $1 million idea for content creation, other people could be thinking about it at the exact same time. I would say, if I'm completely honest, I do love Twitch. I love YouTube to a certain extent. Mixer might be the best streaming platform to go on right now for a brand new streamer, because they have the most incentives for brand new streamers than anywhere else, and there's less competition. So that's just my advice. Whether you take it or not, I don't know, but good luck, have fun. All right, let me get a couple more. How long have we been going for here, by the way? We've been going for, I don't know, roughly 20 minutes or so. Next up is, what do you think is the hardest thing to remember to do in game? Time, spells, probably. So this is for when you're really good. at the game, and even I don't do this most of the time, you should roughly know what the cooldown is of every single ultimate, at least in the game. And I know I'm going to say that and people are like, are you serious? Yeah, I am. So if you're laning in top lane and you're against a Riven, you should know that her ultimate cooldown is roughly 2 minutes, I guess, at level 1, roughly. Again, you don't need to know 100%. I'm sure Koreans or Chinese players might, because, you know, they're just amazing. But, yeah, you should know that, and you should time it. Oh, she ulted? Okay, she doesn't have ult for 85 seconds. I can fight her in that window. That's something that a lot of people don't do, but it would help your game dramatically. You know, how many of us got killed and went, ah, damn, they had Ignite back up? All the time, right? So if we actually paid attention and timed that stuff, you would make way less errors in that regard. So that's what I'd say. Is it better to pick up champions that are meta or champions that you're comfortable using? That is the age-old question, my dude. It depends what type of player you are. There are people out there that, like myself, I am comfortable to pick up anything, play anything pretty much, so I'll generally pick up the strong things of the meta. I kind of usually stay away from overpowered things because they just get banned out all the time, so I'll just play strong things in the meta, but I'll also have some of my favourite comfort picks every now and then. Like Diana, no one plays Diana. I do every now and then because she's a strong comfort pick for me. There are also people, it's very weird how the League community is. So you have people that are meta people that get annoyed when people don't play meta because it's like, why would you play something that's weak at the moment? So you have those people. Then you have the other side of people who hate people that play meta. It's like, oh, why are you playing the strong thing in the game right now? That's boring. So you're never going to win, no matter what you say. And this is something just, again, to the person that said any advice to YouTube and streamers, you're never going to please everybody at all. So if you pick a champion pool that follows the meta, if you one-trick something, there's always going to be someone that's annoyed at you. When you make content, there's always going to be someone that just doesn't like you or doesn't like what you're doing or your content or that thing you said 5 years ago, they might hang on to it. There's always that. So don't try to please everybody. Just do what you want to do. Full stop. So when I say, by the way, and this is why I get a bit blurred in my commentaries, you're watching HuzzyGames. That's HuzzyGames' opinion. That's my experience of the game. What I say is always directed to the average player of the game. The average player of the game who is fluid with their champion pool that isn't stick. So if I say don't one trick, that's to the average player, which I 100% always stand by. And if I say something like, oh, you know, Lux at the moment is pretty poop, then you get 5 messages. I'm a Lux one trick. What are you talking about? It's not for you. Like, if you want a one trick, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Again, you're never going to please everybody, even when you're picking champion pool or not. The answer is do what you want to do. It's pretty much that simple. And that might be more or less all the questions from Instagram, maybe. I'll do one little more check, and if so, we'll go over on Snapchat for a couple. Someone just said best roles to carry with mid and jungle, and, well, AD carry, I guess. All right, first one is how tall am I? So yeah, people have been asking that because of the weight loss stuff. I'm 5'8" and a bit, just over 5'8". I don't know what that is in conversions, 172 centimeters maybe, roughly. Quick math. I'm not very tall. I'm like average, if not slightly below average. So that's why I was never even that heavy. I know I've said this, and a lot of people for some reason just didn't believe me. At my heaviest weight, I was never morbidly obese, ever. Not even close to it. I think the heaviest I ever was around 250 pounds, which obviously isn't good for someone that's 5'8", but that's why I looked a lot bigger than I am, is because I'm short. So I widen out. Short people go like bowling balls. When you're tall, you can hold weight a lot easier because it's kind of being stretched along your body. I couldn't have that, obviously. Someone's saying is, if I time traveled to 2 years ago, do I think I've changed much compared to now? I mean, I'm less in weight, but I think I'm more or less the same person I was. Maybe I'm happier, possibly. You know, there has been times that I will say to you guys, I'm not an actor, but as a YouTuber, you're not going to share everything. Over the last couple of years, there has been times that I've been really down. Like, pretty down. So I'm in a really good, happy place now, though, I am pleased to say. And then the final one from this person is, do I think Katarina is viable now? Yes, but I do also think that she's a one-trick champion. I would never recommend one-tricking, but I also do think, and I know that some people have said that's a contradiction, I think there are some champions of the league that I think there's the only point to play that champion is to one-trick it, and Katarina is that. So if I see someone playing Katarina and they're a one-trick, I kind of go, yeah, fair enough. Because, like, you kind of have to play Katarina. You have to be so on point with your mechanics. It's insane. So if someone's just casually playing Katarina, they're never going to be that good. Next up is, what is the best change Riot can make to ranked, in my opinion? Hard reset, baby. That is the best change that they could do. Give me that hard reset. Everybody's back to 0 MMR. Yeah, it'll be probably a nightmare for the first month, but it would help League of Legends so much in the long run. Next one is, someone is just saying, what am I doing when it comes to my weight loss, especially intermittent fasting? 1 meal a day every day. I have not had more than 1 meal a day for over 2 months. I generally do 1 week that I have a bit more lenient diet, that I will have some carbs in the diet. Then there will be a week that I have no carbs. Generally, I have a lot of meat, protein, eggs every day, more or less. Fish is a very big staple of my diet right now. Steak, bacon, pork belly, stuff like that. Like, again, if you're a vegan or veggie, you won't do what I'm doing, nowhere near. I could never be one of those people. But yeah, it's basically keep to your proteins, cut carbs. I've more or less cut sugar completely out of my life as well, nearly. I have a small little treat every other day just to kind of keep me going. But yeah. All right, next up is, what was your go-to series as a child? What channel was it on? This person says Wizards of Waverly Place. I honestly don't know what that one is. So what was my favorite children TV show? Saved by the Bell, Recess, Rocco's Modern Life. I'm older than probably some of you. Out of the box, out of the box, out of the box. If you got that one, well done. What else, dude? I watched so much TV as a kid. That doesn't sound very good, does it? What was the other one? Oh, Gus. Was Gus one? No, Arthur, when I said, hey, what a wonderful kind of day when you learn to work and play and get along with each other. Listen to that. God, when you remember the song from 20 years ago. Holy moly. I watched a lot. So I grew up in the 90s. So basically think of any late 90s, really early 2000s. Pokemon, how could I not? Pokemon, Digimon, they were massive in my repertoire. Yeah. I was a 90s kid through and through. When we say I was a 90s kid, I was even the kid that skateboarded and had a cap going backwards in like my, 90s kid outfit. I was a proper 90s kid. But yeah, right, cool. My God, I remember the Arthur song. Next up is, what is my day-to-day life like? Pretty boring. I wake up. Wake up, do my business, weigh myself usually every day, go then downstairs, make some food. That's my meal for the day. Then I chill maybe for about half an hour to an hour. Then I start streaming. Stream for probably about 4 to 5 hours. Then after it, I get all my YouTube stuff out the way. That takes about probably 3 hours. Get all the YouTube stuff uploaded, obviously, in that time, all the thumbnails as much as I can. Then I finish probably working about 8 or 9 p.m. and then I chill for the next few hours. I get in bed probably around midnight. I watch like something, if there's an anime or like The Mandalorian, for example. I watch whatever I'm watching at the time. I usually have something to watch every night, or I'm watching streams, and then I fall asleep probably about 1 or 2 a.m. And then, yeah, same thing again really the next day. Again, it's not luxury what I do as a YouTuber. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. Yes, it's a cool job. But, when you're making 2 videos a day every day, I've got to be recording a lot of the time. So, yeah, obviously gym is thrown in there too on some days. And if you're wondering, when does gym come in? Wake up, eat, then go gym, then come home. And I usually have a day off. If not, I'm recording after the gym. Next one is, what is my favourite champion design aesthetically, not actual mechanical kit? My aesthetical champion design? Misfortune. Yep. If you had to undo reverse any rework, which would it be? Akali. I don't need to answer, like, I don't need to say that. Got a lot of questions about the weight loss. How has it have impacted my mental health and overall sense of self? Mental health very much is getting better. I've never been in, like, as I said, I've been pretty down, but I've never been in a really bad place, like terrible. So don't worry about that. I have had incredibly bad self-confidence for years. I don't mind saying that. You know, I'm 25 and I haven't been in a serious relationship in many years because my own self-confidence is on the floor. It's still pretty low, if I'm honest. I'm confident in a lot of areas in life. Put me on a stage in front of 1,000 people, I'm fine. For some reason in that area, I just don't think I offer anything. So very low self-confidence in that area, but it is slowly building. I will say that my self-confidence, I look in the mirror and, you know, things are getting better in that respect of confidence, which is nice. It's always nice to, like, actually look in the mirror and go, hey, that's not bad, or it's getting better. So a little smile on your face whenever you see, or like, you know, the other day, whenever I hit a weight target or something, you know, here in Britain, we have, I said earlier, I weigh 180 pounds now. So that's obviously a milestone in itself. But here in Britain, we actually do stone. Don't ask me why. Again, I don't make the rules. But we weigh ourselves by stone. So every 14 pounds is 1 stone. So at my heaviest, I was, I don't know, roughly 16 stone. I don't really know. I'm sure I didn't really weigh myself when I was at my heaviest for obvious reasons. Didn't really want to know the answer. But I started the weight loss journey and everything, as I said, was 214 pounds, which is 15 stone, 4 pounds. The other day, we hit the goal of seeing 12 stone on the scale. You know, when your starting number is 12, then whatever. So yeah, we got that the other day. Trust me, that was a massive rush of, like, happiness, which is amazing. So, like, I did if you look at the camera in a second, I did an Instagram post of just me being during a workout. And again, maybe that angle shows it a bit better because, like, that is straight on. But there you go. That is what I kind of look like now without this angle, because I know people kind of have said, again, this angle isn't the best for showing the progress for some reason. But yeah, like, it's going well. I've got more work to do. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I have been noticing little differences here and there that have just made me smile. My veins in my arms are coming back. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I remember when I used to be incredibly in shape, I used to have insanely veiny arms and hands. They're coming back. So that must mean something. I don't know. All right, last couple. Who's my favorite Marvel character? Oh my god. Oh, why did you drop this bombshell of a question on me right at the end? I don't know. And again, I will say, I do not believe in elitism when people talk about their favorite characters and things. My favorite Pokemon is Charizard. I've said that a couple times, and then you get people that are being elitist to your favorite is so overrated. It's like, he's been my favorite Pokemon since I was 5 years old. It's never changed. Literally every single Pokemon game that I've ever played, my first thing is, how quickly can I get Charizard? That's like the thing. Yeah, so my favorite Marvel character, Iron Man, probably. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, Iron Man is the one that I had the most connection with because he was the oldest, I guess. You know, we've seen him on the screen for the longest. I am a Marvel, obviously, nut. I've got every single Blu-ray there somewhere. You might not be able to see them. I've got every single movie on Blu-ray. And in, obviously, spoilers, to be honest, if you haven't watched Endgame yet, like, it was months ago, when he obviously, I really choked up. Didn't cry, but I was like, oh my, it affected me more than I think it was going to. And it's dumb, but, like, it's made up movies, but, like, it gets you, dude. You get invested. It gets you. If only season 8 of Game of Thrones was that good. Oh, but yeah, like, probably Iron Man. What people say to me sometimes when I say, oh, my favourite is, they kind of go, yeah, we know it's Iron Man. If Iron Man couldn't be it, or if Charizard can't be your favourite Pokemon, what is then? So if it can't be Iron Man, which obviously is the obvious one to a lot of people, favourite Marvel character? Like, I do like, obviously, Thor. I like the way that they're going with his character. I'm very interested to see where they continue going with him now that he's obviously fluffy for. I'm sure by the next movie he probably has lost all the weight. Or maybe that would be part of the movie. Who knows? I don't know who my favourite second character is, actually. I think it's like an amalgamation of all of them. Like, Iron Man is just a little bit ahead of everything for me, and then all of them are kind of merged together, or a lot of them are merged together. So I don't know. I can't answer that one. But yeah. Alright, then final question, if it's a good one, is... Where is it? Here it is. Bum ba bum. Do you have advice for someone that can't stick to one role ever? Why do you have to? Who said you have to stick to one role ever? My advice is don't. Why? It's a video game. You're supposed to be having fun with it. So who said you have to stick to one role? I am evidence that you don't need to. Whenever people say you have to one trick to climb, no you don't. Huzzy got Master on EU West without doing that. He basically did the opposite. I played 3 roles actively to get to Master. Or 2. 2 roles actively to get to Master. Over at the time 20 champions played. In the time that I was getting Master, in the season that I got Master, I played like 90 champions or something. You don't need to stick to one role. What? I've always been so confused. And then someone would go, but that content creator told me. Okay. Doesn't mean you have to. Like, at all. Like, as I said, I recommend not to one trick, but you can if you want to. I'm not saying, I'm not going to be like, don't do it. Open up, don't do it. You can do whatever you want. Like, it's fine. So if you don't like sticking to one role, you don't have to. You're like my Padawan. By the way, watch The Mandalorian. Baby Yoda is the best thing in the world. Well, he's not Baby Yoda, so it's not really spoilers. There's a baby of Yoda. That's not Yoda. It's his race. I'm digging a hole. Anyway, that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this Q&A. Remember, we've got a bunch of giveaway stuff happening, especially around Christmas and the subathon, which is probably going to be on like the 7th or 8th of December. Yeah, have a fantastic day. Have a great time. If you're going through some rough stuff at the moment, remember it does get better. I am proof of that, you know, in a way, or I'm being proof of that, which is good. But yeah, have a great day. Good luck in whatever you're doing. Again, I've got the TFT tournament later, which by this video coming out, you'll be able to know the result. I've probably tweeted about it. I am hoping to win a bunch of money. Because hell yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time.